An elderly woman steps into a roadside diner in the dead of night, soaked, trembling, her eyes filled with a fear no one understands. At a corner booth, a German shepherd lifts his head, watching, waiting. People see only a tired man and his dog, but they don't see who he used to be. A former Navy SEAL who senses danger before it speaks. When she whispers, "Please pretend you're my grandson," everything begins to change. Before we begin, please like and follow to support us. Thank you. A cold desert wind dragged rain across the highway, rattling the dim neon sign of a lonely roadside diner somewhere between nowhere and forgotten. Ryan Carter sat in the far corner booth with his back to the wall, a habit carved into him long before peace ever found him. At 35, he carried the quiet weight of a man who had survived too much to speak about it. Broad-shouldered, muscular, with a powerful chest beneath a worn green tactical shirt with camouflage sleeves, he looked like someone built for war but left behind by it. His dark brown hair was cut short in a military style. A faint stubble shadowed his sharp jawline, and his eyes, steady, watchful, moved more than his body ever did. He had no visible scars, but something in the stillness of his posture suggested they were there, just hidden beneath the surface. Life had not been kind to him after the Navy. Nights spent working low-paying security shifts, days fixing whatever people would pay him to fix, and meals that were often smaller than they should be. But there was one thing he never cut short: Max's portion. Max, a 6-year-old German shepherd with a black and tan coat and disciplined posture, lay beside the booth, his amber eyes alert but calm. His ears stood upright, catching every sound in the diner, yet he did not bark or fidget. He had the quiet control of a trained K9, the kind that did not react unless there was reason. His loyalty to Ryan was absolute, and Ryan returned it in the only way he knew: consistency, care, and never leaving him behind. On the table sat a single plate of cheap grilled meat. Ryan had already pushed most of it down toward Max, keeping only a small portion for himself. He lifted his coffee slowly, the bitterness familiar, grounding. Across the diner, Linda, the night waitress, moved with tired efficiency. She was a woman in her early 40s, tall and slightly thin, with faded blonde hair tied loosely at the back of her neck, and pale skin that carried the exhaustion of too many night shifts. Her expression was neutral, but her eyes were kind, the kind that noticed things even when she pretended not to. A trucker slouched at the counter, half asleep over his meal, his heavy jacket still on. Two younger travelers sat near the window, whispering and occasionally glancing at Ryan, not out of curiosity but caution. Ryan didn't mind. He preferred it that way. Silence was easier than explanation. The door chimed. The sound cut through the low hum of the diner, and with it came the storm, wind, rain, and something else. She stepped inside slowly. The elderly woman could not have been more than 5 feet tall, her frame fragile beneath a soaked gray wool coat that clung to her shoulders. Her white hair, thin and damp, stuck to her temples, and her pale skin looked almost translucent under the fluorescent lights. But it wasn't her appearance that caught Ryan's attention. It was her fear. Her eyes moved too quickly, darting toward the windows, then toward the door, then across the room as if she were being followed by something no one else could see. Her breathing was uneven, shallow, like someone who had been running far longer than her body could handle. Max lifted his head. He didn't bark, but his eyes locked onto her instantly. The woman didn't look at the counter. She didn't look for a seat. She walked, uneven, determined, straight toward Ryan. Linda opened her mouth to greet her, but the woman passed by without a word. Ryan straightened slightly, his instincts sharpening. People didn't walk toward him. They avoided him. But she stopped beside his table, gripping the edge with trembling fingers as if it were the only solid thing left in her world. Up close, Ryan could see the tears in her eyes. She leaned in. "Please." Her voice cracked, barely louder than the rain striking the windows. "Please pretend you're my grandson." Ryan blinked once, slow, controlled. "What?" His voice was low, steady, like distant thunder that never rushed. Before she could answer, headlights sliced across the diner windows, bright, sudden, violent against the dark. The woman froze. Her grip tightened on the table, then on Ryan's sleeve. "They found me," she whispered, panic flooding every word. "Please, just for a minute." Max stood up, not abruptly, not aggressively, but with purpose. His body aligned forward, muscles subtly tightening beneath his coat, ears forward, eyes fixed toward the door. Ryan turned his head slightly toward the window. A black SUV had pulled into the parking lot, engine idling, lights cutting through the rain like blades. Something in Ryan's chest shifted, not fear, not yet, but recognition, the kind that came from years of knowing when something was wrong before it became dangerous. The diner door chimed again, and this time the storm didn't come alone. A man stepped inside. He was tall, lean, dressed in a perfectly tailored gray suit that didn't belong anywhere near a place like this. His dark hair was neatly combed, untouched by the rain, and thin metal glasses rested precisely on his face. His features were sharp, controlled, the kind of face that had learned to smile without warmth. He carried himself like someone used to authority, not loud authority, but quiet, inevitable control. Behind him, just outside the door, shadows moved, more than one. The man's eyes scanned the room slowly, calculated, measured. Then they stopped on the old woman, on Ryan, on Max. The woman's hand tightened around Ryan's arm like a final anchor to the world. Ryan didn't move. He didn't know her. He didn't know the man, but he knew one thing: fear like hers didn't lie. He exhaled slowly, then shifted in the booth, creating space beside him. "Grandma," he said, loud enough for the room to hear, his tone calm but firm. "I told you not to wander off in this weather." The woman didn't hesitate. She slid into the seat beside him, clutching his